Welcome back to the Sports Lab podcast. We got a lot to get into. With me and Thomas Bailey, we got a lot to cover. I mean, there was a sports equinox yesterday, so sports. Am I right? This is like the perfect time of the year. All sports are colliding, and it's absolutely great to see. But as always, we'll start with the NFL because, NFL is king. Go into the Sabres, talk about the depressing World Series, probably talk a little bit of NBA since that season just started. A little bit of college football. Got a lot to get into, but I guess we'll just go in order of all the games. The first game on my slate that I have would be Jags Packers. As the Packers win that game 30-27. Jordan Love gets injured in the game, but Malik Willis makes a big clutch throw to end up putting the Packers in field goal range to win this game. Thomas, what are your thoughts on the game?
I mean, Jordan Love looked like he was limping for 90% of this football game. It was very weird to see him continuously go back out there. No situation should you bring your quarterback back out there without anything taping up his leg or at least checking on him. It didn't appear that they checked on him on the sideline, at least from what we all saw watching the game. And it very much so concerns me moving forward with that groin injury. I understand they avoid a serious injury there again for Jordan Love, but at the same time, his health has been a very big problem this season so far, obviously being injured in game one, and now finally they said fully healthy for this game, and comes out and re-aggravates something. So they've listed this as a groin injury. I'm not sure how big of a deal this is actually going to be, but I did have the Green Bay Packers winning this one 31-17. I thought this game was going to be a blowout win for the Green Bay Packers. However, with Malik Willis coming in for that second half, a lot of it at least, it looked very interesting at the end. The Jaguars were right there in this game. And I understand it's a very good Green Bay Packers team, but after he got injured, I feel like this is a game the Jags had to win at that point. It's a game where if you want to get back into that race for a playoff spot, because realistically, there's still a shot for the Jags. There was anyway. You still have to play the Titans twice and the Colts again. So there was still always that chance. And the Colts benched Richardson, so there's an even better chance that you win that game.
But who knows how long it's going to be for.
Well, you never know, but at the same time, it's an interesting dilemma for them. So the Jags definitely could have climbed out of that hole if they would have won this game. However, they could not beat Malik Willis. That was a great throw at the end there to really put them in a field goal range. And for the second consecutive week, Brandon McManus wins on a game-winning field goal against an AFC South team. The only thing that's funny to me is the Green Bay Packers special teams was like the reason why they were garbage last season for most of the year. And then this year, it's been the saving grace for them these last couple of weeks. So it's funny and it's ironic to me as the Yankees finally get a run, even though they already had a run. But, Volpe doesn't know how to run. But
No, I saw that. It was almost caught. If he's at home by that, he gets thrown out. So I get that. And if there was 2 outs, he would have scored. But there was less than 2 outs. So why risk that? I get that situation. At first, I'm like, how does he not score in a double? But then I saw it. I'm like, that actually makes a lot of sense. All right, I guess moving on. The Packers-Jags game. T-Law continued to look much better. I do genuinely feel bad for him. He's got, I think, 2 complete retards as his offense and defensive coordinator. I think that I could coach better using coach suggestions every play than those 2 bums. I don't know how they ever got jobs as offensive and defensive coordinators. I don't even know who the defensive coordinator is. I just know he's an idiot. That's pretty much, yeah. I mean, they got a lot of talent over there. The fact that there's this defense, they're just always out of position on everything. It's not even just like bad players; they're just in the wrong positions, and that really comes down to coaching. And that's what happened on the Jayden Reed thing. Was wide open, and Malik Willis hit him, and that's what lost in the game. T-Law did what he had to do. I mean, they scored 27 points on a Packers defense and been playing really well. Prayers up to Christian Kirk, who is now out for the year with a broken collarbone. Prayers up to BTJ. Hopefully, he gets back soon. He is day to day. He's questionable this week. I have a feeling he's probably going to miss this week, and then he'll be back. But overall, very, very good game by Trevor Lawrence. He had the 1 interception, but it's over 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, and it's not like they had a great run game. I mean, Tank Bigsby, 8 for 78 isn't awful. They averaged 4 yards a carry. It's not the greatest, but T-Law did what he had to do. He scored the touchdown at the end to tie the game off. They were down 27-17. He led them on a 10-point comeback, and it didn't matter. Their defense choked as always. I mean, I guess the only good thing about them losing is it's getting closer and closer to the inevitable where their coaches get fired, which I think when that happens, whoever replaces them is an instant upgrade just because it's not them. So I mean, you really can't get worse than Press Taylor and whatever bum is calling plays on the defensive side of the ball. So as soon as they're fired, I think they get better based on the fact that you don't have retards calling plays anymore.
Yeah, I don't think you can keep Press Taylor, but I feel bad for like Doug Peterson specifically. I don't think you can move on from Doug Peterson, and I understand there's a lot of debate right now because right now, who are you gonna make the head coach? Who are you gonna put in as head coach?
Oh, maybe not mid-season, but he's gone after the end of the year.
Oh yeah, at the end of the year, sure.
Oh, I thought you were saying like I thought you were saying he should be head coach next year.
No, it's almost like a Sean McDermott.
Well, if he doesn't fire Press Taylor, then he should be fired because it's his job to make sure you don't have these idiots.
If the Bills were playing as bad as the Jags have been playing, you still couldn't fire McDermott because there's nobody that really you can put in that spot. Bobby Babbitt's first season as a defensive coordinator.
Here's the thing, though. Sometimes when you fire a coach, a lot of times when you bring in a coach, not always. Like if you fire someone, you get that boost of like the Raiders last year. They fired Josh McDaniels. I understand different scenario. They brought in Antonio Pierce, and their defense played really. They played with more passion and more juice. Like something like that could happen. They could bring in a players coach, someone that's going to hype them up and get them to play well, and that something like that could work out. So.
I think Vrabel would make a lot of sense. You need a defensive-minded guy in that room because you got to let T-Law just own the offense here. I mean, look at what they did in the first year. Doug Peterson really didn't know the playbook as well. Doug Peterson wasn't really the one doing too much calling the plays. It was mostly Trevor Lawrence's thought process. Trevor Lawrence was audibling a ton. Trevor Lawrence was making the decisions when he needed to. And
Doug Peterson was calling the plays, though. Huh? Doug Peterson was calling the plays that year. Then the year after, Press Taylor started calling the plays last year, and that's where the offense went down.
Yeah, exactly. But what I'm saying is, like, still with Doug Peterson, though, you versus Doug Peterson and Mike Vrabel, you have to be able to give some sort of offensive mind the keys. You have to give somebody the keys, and I think Lawrence is that guy.
I guess I personally, if I was the Jaguars, I'd hire Liam Cohen. Look at it. Look at when quarterbacks are paired with offensive gurus, how much better they play. Look at all the recent Super Bowl champs: Mahomes and Andy Reid, Stafford and Sean McVay. The Niners have been there multiple times with Kyle Shanahan. Zach Taylor's an offensive-minded coach. He took Joe Burrow there. Like that, the league is kind of going that way, where offensive-minded guys paired with good to elite quarterbacks is kind of the way to go.
Yeah, but at the same time, though, if you look at the Jags, how they're built right now, which side of the ball is worse? I don't think there's any room to say that it's the offense. The offense is certainly way more talented than that defense. They don't have a safety other than Savage, who's been injured all season. They don't have another pass rusher.
Andre Cisco.
Josh Hines-Allen. And then they don't have anybody on the interior D-line.
No, I mean, they got Trayvon Walker and Andre Cisco. You can't disrespect them.
Okay. Cisco went to my favorite college, and Cisco got cooked more than he was ever good.
I think up until this year, he was pretty good. I think it's just bad. I think it's coach malpractice. I genuinely think the biggest issue is coach malpractice. And I just think, you can't go against the results. When teams hire people from the McVay-Shanahan tree, their offense immediately comes better. Their team immediately becomes better. And look at all the teams playing in February, playing in the Super Bowl. It's good to elite quarterbacks with offensive-minded guys. The last defensive-minded guy to win the Super Bowl was Bill Belichick.
Yeah, that's fair.
With Tom Brady, they had what's his face? I can't even think of his name as the head coach, and he was an offensive-minded guy. He retired.
Who?
The coach of the Bucs when they won the Super Bowl. He was an offensive-minded guy. I can't think of his name.
They had Todd Bowles as their head coach.
No, he wasn't the head coach.
Bruce Arians?
Bruce Arians, yes. Literally, yeah. So the last defensive-minded head coach to win. Bruce Arians is an offensive guy, without a doubt.
He is, but I'm saying he's not like a fucking guru or something.
You can make an argument he kind of is. I mean, that offense really went down as soon as he retired. You're going to
put him in the same tier as like Reed, Shanahan, McVay?
No.
That's what you just put him in, though.
I was naming offensive head coaches. that made it to the Super Bowl recently. The last defensive-minded head coach was Bill Belichick, and he's the greatest coach ever.
Exactly.
But that was 6 years ago. Times have changed.
That's fair, yeah. But at the same time, a defensive-minded head coach in the league with how it's looking right now could be just what a team needs to stand out. A team needs to be able to – like the only way you're winning is if your offensive mind is better than their offensive mind, or your defensive mind can stop the offensive minds. And so basically right now, I understand that's why no one
just look at all the top teams in the league. Look at all the top teams in the league. The Chiefs, the Lions, the Packers.
They have an amazing defense.
Yeah, but offensive-minded head coaches. I mean, I guess Dan Campbell's more of a player's coach, but he was a tight end coach when he was hired. He did play tight end. And they do have Ben Johnson, the best offensive coordinator in the league.
Yeah, it's offensive coordinators. That's nothing to do with the coach, really.
It's offensive-minded head coaches prevail.
Okay.
In this day and age, offensive-minded head coaches prevail. You can't argue against these recent results. Moving on. Gross game. Jets-Patriots. The Patriots beat the Jets 25-22. The Jets are officially dog shit. And the Patriots get their second win of the year behind a Jacoby Brissett comeback win. The Jets just find ways to lose games. At this point, I feel for the 10 Jets fans remaining. I guess New York City, I just feel for all your sports. I don't really have much going for them. And they kind of had baseball, but the Dodgers said, nah, fuck you. The Knicks haven't looked great. The Nets are rebuilding. The Jets and Giants are the laughing stocks of the league.
The Rangers are the only
you got hockey. You got hockey. Yeah, you got hockey right now.
Except for the Sabres.
Well, I'm talking about New York City.
Well, you said New York, but
I meant like New York City.
Well,
I would have said Buffalo if I was talking about Buffalo.
Well, yeah, that's fair, I guess. But at the same time, you said the Jets and the Giants when they don't play in New York.
You know what I meant. That's where all the fans come from, though. Their headquarters are in New York. That's why their team name is New York.
Their headquarters doesn't matter.
That's why their team name says New York.
You said Jets, Patriots. Well, this game was 25-22. New England won right at the end. Kayshon Boutte with another great game. He's looking progressively better as the season goes along. He was a first-round pick, projected guy for a reason going into last year. Obviously ended up falling a lot in the draft, but he could potentially be up there with Trey Smith as one of the steals of these last couple drafts in the later rounds. He's looked very solid these last couple weeks. That chemistry he had with Drake May has been looking pretty nice. Obviously, Jacoby Brissett comes in and throws that touchdown at the end. But this is one of those games for the Patriots where, like, it was inevitable that Drake May was probably going to get hurt because of what you guys were doing to him, throwing him out there against all these different teams. This is not the way to really go about doing this, especially like the last couple of weeks. You gave him Houston and then the Jets now. So, like, there's been some really brutal moments here for him. So there's that. But there's been a lot of talk about Jerod Mayo potentially being fired coming into this week. So I kind of figured, yes,
I didn't hear that talk.
Yeah, there was a lot about that. But Jerod Mayo lost the locker room, according to multiple sources. There was a ton of different things out there around everything. So basically, there was talk that he could potentially get fired after either this game or like the next couple of weeks. And I feel like he kind of got the locker room back in this game. And I felt like this was a trap game for the Jets going in with how bad they played this year. And if this shows anything about the Jets to me, it's that they did not make the right decision getting rid of Robert Saleh. You won 24-3 with Robert Saleh. Jeff Ulbrich just lost to the Patriots 25-22. And I get it. Greg Zuerlein missed a field goal, a couple of them, and that extra point. I don't care. At the same time, even though you missed those field goals, you still win this game, whatever. Doesn't matter because you barely beat the Patriots, the second worst team in the conference right now beside the Tennessee Titans. They have looked.
I would argue that the Patriots were worse than that. I would argue that I thought the Patriots were worse than the Titans.
Yeah, you can definitely make that argument too. They're two of the worst teams in football right now, and they're definitely top 4 or 5 teams in the league.
Judge has gone on base twice now, without having to swing the bat.
Yeah, I know. That's how he got on base though, because he didn't have to swing the bat.
Shut up.
Yeah, right. But basically, I think this game was a wash. Like for the Jets right now, this is it. It's over. I feel like this was the game where it's officially done for me. You have Houston on Thursday night now coming up. I don't see a chance in hell. I understand Diggs just tore his ACL. I understand that you don't have Nico Collins still. It's going to be a lot more interesting because of those things. But with how the Jets are playing, you will never catch me picking the New York Jets again this season. I don't care if
The
they
Jets
play
are actually favored, which is crazy.
Yeah, I know. They're -2 right now. But I'm not picking the Jets ever again.
I'm rooting for the
not.
Jets. I'm definitely rooting for the Jets.
I mean, yeah, of course. Obviously, we want them to beat the Houston Texans, who just narrowly escaped the Colts. But we'll get to that later. I think this was a good game. Drake May gets injured. Hopefully, he's okay. As for that Patriots team, I feel like their biggest weakness right now is that offensive line and then a little bit of that defense right now. The front seven's just not it. Christian Barmore's looked solid so far, but outside of him,
Oh, he came back? I know he was dealing with stuff. Did he just come back? Because I know he was out for
Yeah,
a while.
he came back from the injury. But also Josh Uche was traded this week to the Chiefs for like that 6th round pick in 26. So
Yeah.
I do think that was a good trade for the Chiefs and for the Patriots. Just get rid of an aging guy. He's getting up there now. Yes, he's still young somewhat, but he's in a contract year. You're not going to re-sign him. You're looking to rebuild. Why not just go ahead and do that? So good move by both teams. I think the Chiefs
Good hit by Jazz.
pass rush. So good job from them. And other than that, that's basically my thoughts on this game.
Moving on, the Eagles absolutely shellacked the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals started this game out really well, went right down the field. Jamar Chase, funny enough, actually, I had a 6-leg touchdown parlay, and Jamar Chase was my only wide receiver on it. It was like one of the first touchdowns of the Sunday slate. It was the only touchdown that hit. I also had Saquon, Breece Hall, Kenny Walker, Javonte Williams, and Jordan Mason.
Kenny Walker is understandable. We had really bad rush defense coming into this week.
Well, all of them made sense. As Saquon Barkley, Breece Hall against the Patriots, Jordan Mason against the Cowboys, Javonte Williams against the Panthers.
With how bad?
All of them made a lot of sense. And just
Jalen Hurts with 4 rushing touchdowns.
Rough betting week on FanDuel, but I won $290. So I'm doing something else. So another week, another cash money for me. But yeah, the Eagles have looked really, really good these last 2 weeks. This bye week, I guess, really, really has done them wonders. I mean, they kind of were going into the bye week not looking too great. I mean, they had gotten just beat out by the Buccaneers, and then coming out of the bye, they barely beat the Browns, and everyone's like, this Eagles team. But these last 2 weeks, I mean, 28-3 and 37-17. I think AJ Brown has really made this offense, turn this offense to the next level. Did Stan also get hit?
Yeah, it hit him in the hand. It's not even on the pitch.
Oh, but he swung, so it's a strike.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah. You can't call that hit by pitch because he literally turned into it.
Yeah, no, it's a swing. It's a swing, so it's considered a strike, unfortunately.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, this Eagles team's looking really, really good. I hate Jalen Hurts for stealing out of Saquon's touchdowns, not only because of the bet, had him in a fantasy league, so fuck the tush push. And really, the only thing right now that looks really good for the Bengals is Jamar Chase. Everything else, not. And I guess Chase Brown's been looking good, but overall, it's not. At least you should have kept this game close, Cincinnati. That's kind of what I am really thinking about it. But yeah, what are your thoughts?
I mean, T. Higgins did end up becoming a game-time decision after some issue he had in practice. He ended up not playing, obviously, at all in this game. He was ruled out. I do think that was a big factor as well, because if you can double-team Jamar Chase, you're really not going to get anywhere with that Bengals offense. Yoshavash, whatever, he hasn't looked that great. Trent Irwin was getting quality snaps in this game. That just is not acceptable. The Bengals and the Rams
Yoshi so like that.
The Bengals and the Rams are so similar. Because here's the problem. They have 2 really good receivers in Kupp and Nacua, and then Higgins and Chase, and then nothing after that. Nobody after that. You have like Yoshavash or Robinson. You don't have a quality tight end. And then on top of that, on the defensive side, the defense is your liability. And this is just upsetting football for the Cincinnati Bengals. This is a game you probably could have had. Obviously, we both picked them to win this game. I thought they would win 28-24. I thought it would be a close game, but it looks as if that Eagles offense has finally turned a corner. I understand that A.J. Brown looked great in that Browns game, but they barely beat the Cleveland Browns, who at the time still had Deshaun freaking Watson. It's not quality football football that was being played by the Eagles. I'm finally a believer in this team again after this week. They're getting right there into this situation here, and it's interesting to see what happens next. I can't believe that the Bengals got smoked by this much. It looked as if this game was going to be a lot closer at the beginning, and it kind of slowly got away from them. This rush defense has looked absolutely like one of the worst in the league. Is up there with the Panthers and the Cardinals right now. They can't stop anything, and
Can't stop a nosebleed.
And the worst part is against a team like Philadelphia, we should have saw this coming from a mile away. They like to run the ball and work off play action, and that's exactly what they did in this game for the entirety of the second half. It led to a couple touchdowns for Hurts. He had 4 rushing touchdowns in this game, and it's just an amazing game for Hurts and the Eagles, and they put together a complete performance for the first time, in my opinion, since like week 1. So congratulations to them. Eagles get it done. Excited to see what they do for the remaining games of this regular season as we're about halfway through. But for Cincinnati, I'm not sure if you have too much hope. I understand you have to probably go 6-3 or 7-2 at the very worst 6-3 in order to even have a shot at the playoffs this year. So it's potentially doable, but we'll see how it goes for them.
All right, moving on. This game really don't have to give much thought into. The Detroit Lions absolutely dominate the Titans, look dominant in all 3 phases of football. Lions are the best team in football right now. What are your thoughts on this game?
What a special teams performance by them. If anybody's special teams looks garbage, it is the Tennessee Titans. They had 2 blocked punts in the first 2 weeks, including one that was returned against the Bears that they ended up losing because of. They also have had a lot of really messed up plays on the kick returns and stuff, which we saw a kick return touchdown and one that was inside the 20 and another one that was inside the 35. They just could not stop Khalif Raymond. He was amazing in this game. Jared Goff didn't have to do too much, and this team really just went to work early and often. This was actually a very decent game at the beginning. The Titans were keeping it close at the beginning of this game and make me wonder if there was a potential upset on our hands. And then the Lions became the Detroit Lions and absolutely smoked everybody. And it made
Jared Goff had 85 yards passing, yet 3 touchdowns. It's actually insane.
Yeah, he had nothing in this game. And fun fact, this is the first game in NFL history where they had more kick return yards / punt return yards than they had total yards of offense in this game. The Detroit Lions did. So that's a fun little stat I wrote down for you guys. Other than that, this was just a terrible game to watch. And if you're a Titans fan, that is. If you're a Lions fan, you're through the roof right now. They look like the best team in football. They have been playing like it, and they are going to continue to play like it if they keep playing like this every game.
Volpe. Rizzo really sold there. That might just end our inning, unfortunately. Base is loaded, and he pops out to the shortstop. Moving on. Falcons Bucks. Kirk Tober strikes again. This Falcons offense was Anthony Volpe, grand slam, baby. Let's go. We're so back.
You're gonna lose in 5. Oh,
fuck you,
dude. How do you cook one right up the middle? You absolute bum. Okay, whatever. Yankees get 1 win. It's fine.
Shut up. No, we're getting 2. You really think we're going 0-2 when Garrett Cole starts? You genuinely think we're going 0-2 when Garrett Cole starts?
The way your bats have played this series, hell yes.
I really don't think we're going 0-2 when Garrett Cole starts. We would have won game 1 if Aaron Boone wasn't a retard. So I still think we're not going 0-2 when Garrett Cole starts. I just genuinely don't see that happening.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. I think it will. I think the Dodgers are just a team of destiny right now.
I think the Dodgers win in 6. That's my opinion. I
think if it goes 6 games, that I'd be very nervous if I was the Dodgers.
Well, yeah. If they can get the momentum and then maybe Rodon can shove because he's either really good or really bad, and he was bad.
That's the problem, though. So, if you guys are playing the Dodgers right now with Dave Roberts. Dave Roberts understands this. Dave Roberts is pitching a bullpen game right now. That's the only reason you just got a grand slam is because.
Trust me, I understand, but I'm just saying, Game 5 at home. We almost won in LA with Garrett Cole. I think at home we definitely win with Garrett Cole.
We had a couple games in our series. The one game where we blew them out like 12-6, That was their bullpen game. And they came back the next game and smacked us in the mouth and gave us 0.
Yeah, but you guys don't have any pitcher. You don't have any pitcher nearly as good as Garrett Cole. Sean Manaea and Jose Quintana are good pitchers. They're not on Garrett Cole's level.
It's not about pitchers, bro. It's not about pitchers. I'm saying, like, we got 0 runs through 6 innings, 0 hits through 6 innings in that game 6 that we lost. 0 hits. And I know you don't like Mark Vientos for whatever reason, and Pete Alonso and all that.
No, I never said I don't like Mark Vientos. I'm just saying compared to Aaron Judge, there's not a comparison. That's all I said. I didn't say Mark Vientos sucks. I just said, would you rather hit in front of Aaron Judge or Mark Vientos? Obviously, you'd rather hit in front of Aaron Judge.
No, I understand, but
because even when Aaron Judge is struggling, you're still going to see better pitches just because Aaron Judge, when he's hitting 100, it still brings that fear factor in.
No, I know. I'm saying I understand that we don't have as like whatever you want to say about our bats. We don't have as good of bats as the Yankees, but we're not that far off compared to what you guys are. Lindor this postseason, like
you said, the Mets won 12-6. The Mets won 12-6. They scored 5 runs the next game, though. They allowed 10. I don't see Garrett Cole allowing 10 runs.
We scored like 3 of those in the last inning.
So the Yankees can't? Like, that doesn't. If we score 5 runs in a Garrett Cole start, we're winning. No, you scored. It was Mark Vientos home run, or no, Alonso scored a run in the first, then a Vientos home run in the 4th, then an Alvarez sac fly in the 7th, and then a McNeil. You scored runs throughout the entire game. And that was the bullpen game. The bullpen game was game 6 that you guys lost.
No, their bullpen game is game 5.
I'm looking at it right now, and I promise. Then maybe they did 2 bullpen games because this is their pitchers against the Mets: Kopech, Kasparis, Banda, Brazier, Phillips, Hudson, and Trinan. They did a bullpen game, game 6. I'm looking at the stats right now.
They did a bullpen game in game 5 too, though. And we smoked them.
Didn't. No, they didn't.
Because it was Buehler.
Jack Flaherty, you guys lit up Jack Flaherty. You lit up Jack Flaherty in game 5. And then
they started Jack Flaherty, and then they went to their bullpen, and they just revolving door of bullpen.
They used 3 pitchers in that game.
Then it was game 6 then. I don't know. Whatever.
That's what I was trying to say.
Jesus Christ.
And the Yankees, they do match up. Yes, we got shut out by Jack Flaherty in game 1, but we match up really well against him. We're really good against right-handed hitters. We had that whole game to see him and see his pitches. I think we'll pit at home. I think we will hit much better against Jack Flaherty.
I don't think home matters for hits.
It does matter for fly balls being home runs. We're a short porch hitting team. We have it built that way.
That much I do know.
Yes, we built our team around that because why wouldn't you? You build a team to fit your ballpark.
Yeah, but at the same time, I do think that needs to change eventually, but that's a whole different topic.
Oh, like if you think every ballpark should be the same?
Oh, hell yeah. Because how is that fair?
Agree.
How is that fair?
Well,
like the Green Monster? The Green Monster for the Red Sox, that's completely unfair. That thing's like a mile high.
The thing about that is both teams like play. It's not like, it's only there for one team. Like, I agree that all fields should be the same, but I wouldn't say it's
only there for one team. That's only for that one specific time they meet up in the regular season. The Red Sox get to play there at home every single time they play at home. The other team's at a disadvantage because they're not going to get nearly as many home runs. And yeah, sure, they won't get as many home runs, but it's. I
trust me. I understand. I wish all were the same too, but they're not. So
that's fair. Move on. Let's go.
Yep. I guess we've been arguing a lot today, so let's move on to a lighter note. Bills dominate Seahawks 31-10. Josh Allen proved again why he should be either MVP or second. It's him and Lamar, and it's everyone else. There's no one else in the same breath. No, he is not in the same breath as them.
Okay.
He threw for 84 yards. They don't have to, and he had 84 passing yards, and they scored 52 points.
He's had 7 incompletions over the last 3 games.
He has the best run game, the best offensive line.
7 incompletions over the last 3 games.
He's playing really good. He's playing amazing within the structure of the offense. He is not elevating the offense. They have the best offensive line, best run game, and best offensive coordinator in the league.
Neither's Jackson.
Jackson is elevating that offense. Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson are 100% elevating that offense. What kind of
Oh,
crap
Josh
are you
Allen,
smoking?
yes.
What do you mean? It's Allen, Lamar, and no one else. Jared Goff is a distant third.
Okay.
He's playing great within the system. He's not elevating the system. Lamar is 100% elevating the system. Did you watch that game against the Browns? It's the only reason they scored that many points. Every receiver was dropping every pass.
They dropped like 3 passes in that game. Lamar had 2 plays back to back that should have been pick sixes.
I don't really understand how you have watched the Ravens play this year and be like, Lamar hasn't elevated that offense. He's made absolutely electric play after absolutely electric play.
When they play the worst teams, that's fine. I mean,
he led them on a comeback to almost beat the Chiefs, who are the last undefeated team in the league. He actually cooked against the Bucs. He cooked against the Cowboys. He played good enough against us.
Yeah, he played good against us, but Henry owned that game.
Well, yeah, but Lamar also played really
good.
good.
Teams they beat are because Henry dominates early and Jackson just minimizes what he has to do.
Not the Bucs
minimize
game.
What Jackson has to do.
Derrick Henry didn't start cooking. Derrick Henry didn't start cooking until the second half in that game. Lamar had 5 touchdowns, no picks.
Of what game?
Lamar elevated that game. Against the Bengals, Derrick Henry only had 92 yards, and that's with a 51-yard run in overtime. That was basically Lamar Jackson absolutely cooking with 350 and 4 touchdowns. He won him that game.
But you're playing the Bengals secondary.
Still, he played absolutely amazing. Against the Chiefs, Derrick Henry had 13 carries for 46 yards. Lamar had 400 yards of offense and almost won in that game against the Chiefs. They were a toe away from maybe winning that game.
I don't know.
Against the Commanders, Lamar played great.
Another bad defense.
The Commanders' defense isn't bad.
Their secondary is most certainly bad.
Not lately. They've only allowed over 20 points 3 times. They've only allowed over 20 points 3 times. They've only allowed more than 18 points 3 times, and that was against the Bucs, the Bengals, and the Ravens. Every other team, I understand not the greatest passing offense is everything, but they still held their own very, very well.
I don't know. We'll see.
I think it's absolutely ludicrous to say that Lamar has not elevated that offense. Yes, Derrick Henry's amazing.
I'm not saying he hasn't. I'm just saying he hasn't elevated the offense nearly as much as you're saying he has.
I just think that's crazy.
If you take Lamar Jackson out and put Malik Willis in, I think there are only one loss difference, and it's Malik Willis.
I think if you took let me look at the Ravens real quick. If they don't beat the Bengals, they don't beat the Commanders. I don't know if they would even beat the Bucs. They might not even beat the Cowboys. These are all close games. Malik Willis, Lamar Jackson, much different games.
That Cowboys game was not close.
At the end of the game, it was. And then Lamar made the plays when needed to win that game. Yeah, because the Cowboys made a comeback. They definitely don't beat the Bengals. They definitely don't beat the Commanders. I don't think who knows if they beat the Bucs. Their offense put up so many points because of how good Lamar played against the Bucs. That was Lamar absolutely cooking, and they took a big lead because of that. Malik Willis isn't going to do that. I think if you take Lamar off this team and you put Malik Willis, they have 2 wins. They might be us maybe, and then the Cowboys maybe, and I think that's it.
Okay.
I think if you take Jared Goff off of the Lions, let's see, they still beat the Titans. Maybe they lose to the Vikings. They still beat the Cowboys. They still beat the Seahawks. They still beat the Cardinals.
They don't.
And Seahawks. Yeah, they beat the Seahawks.
The Seahawks scored 27 points. I don't care who you put in the game. That's like, unless you're saying a top 5 quarterback, who are you replacing him with?
Average level guy.
No, because the Seahawks defense in that game only lost because Jared Goff didn't throw a single incompletion. Jared Goff threw 3 touchdown passes in that game.
2. He threw 2 touchdown passes.
Whatever. But he had 18,
Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery had 3 touchdowns themselves, though.
Yeah, but if you got to understand, if you become a one-dimensional offense where all you do is run the football,
you just find a guy. You said Malik Willis. If you said, I guess I'd have to think you said Malik to Lamar because a similar style. I guess I'd have to really think about what would be a good like worse guy than Goff, but that could still put up good numbers. You put a Derek Carr. You put Derek Carr in that. The Lions, I think, only have one less win. The Lions are 5-2 with Derek Carr.
They lose to the Vikings. They lose to the Seahawks.
That's the only no Derek Carr. Because Derek Carr is basically just a worse Jared Goff. He's not great under pressure.
His
I wouldn't say a lot worse.
God awful.
Only under pressure. Derek Carr has good accuracy when he has a clean pocket and cooks under play action. Has a good deep ball. Can be accurate. Can be a field general. They both have the same issue. They're awful under pressure. The thing is, Jared Goff doesn't have to face pressure much because the Lions' offensive line is so good. The one game he had to face a lot of pressure was against the Buccaneers. He was getting pressured a lot, and he had no touchdowns and 2 picks. The one game they couldn't get the run game going. Well, I guess they did kind of get the run game going, but still, he was getting pressure. He had 0 touchdowns, 2 picks.
That's fine.
I think that line system, majority of quarterbacks can succeed in that system because it's so run the ball, great offensive line. Ben Johnson is just scheming people wide open with play action and stuff. I think if you put like Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson of the Lions, they're without a doubt 7-0, and they would win every game by, I would say, maybe 10 plus points.
Well, no shit, but that's a stupid argument. I don't know.
No, if you put the 2 quarterbacks who I think are 1 and 2 for MVP and by themselves their own island on the guy who you think should also be in that conversation, they would elevate the offense more than Jared Goff.
I'm not saying he's not like. Okay, never mind. We're not doing this. We're 36 and a half minutes in. We should probably, talk about the football game.
We could just I just think that I said Jared Goff is third. I just said he shouldn't be in the conversation. I think it's 2 guys head and shoulders above everyone else. I think he's
still in the conversation for the simple fact that he's insanely consistent. Josh Allen is not consistent. Lamar Jackson's more consistent than Josh Allen is.
Yeah, to me, MVP means most valuable player. Jared Goff is not as valuable to his team this year as Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen are to their teams.
Well, back to your recent numbers, bull crap and stuff. Back to you can't argue with recent history with like all the Super Bowl winners being offensive-minded guys. Well, you can't argue against the last teams that have won MVP are the teams that had the best teams. Lamar sucked in 2019. He got the MVP trophy.
He did not. Lamar did not suck in 2019. What kind of crack are you smoking?
Not 29, what the one he won last year, I guess, then. Whatever.
Oh, well, he didn't deserve MVP. I never said he should have won MVP.
Exactly.
But I'm saying my personal opinion, who I should think win MVP. I don't think Lamar should have won MVP last year. I would have had him third on my ballot. I think Josh should have won MVP. I think Dak should have been second.
It's close.
But I'm just saying my personal rankings and my personal opinion, it's Allen and Lamar way above everyone else.
Yeah, and I didn't disagree with that.
Yes, you did. You said I should put Jared Goff with them.
No, I said Jared Goff is in the conversation for my personal opinion. You disagreed with my opinion.
That's how we got okay. I just said I think Allen and Lamar are way better than everyone else right now, and you were like, no, you should also put Jared Goff in there. So that's the argument. I don't think Jared Goff's on there. You insinuated that Jared Goff should be like in the conversation with them, and I think no, they're not. That's what we're yes. In my personal opinion, they should, and that's what we're arguing. Yes, exactly. That's the whole point of this is we
and then you
get
went
to have arguments
about how Lamar and them and stuff, and yeah, that's how we got down.
I was making my case. It's called making a case for your side.
Yeah, but it was a 11-minute debate now.
That's fine. We could just gloss over the other. I mean, there's not that many games we already talked basically Ravens, Browns. Yeah, but I don't really care about some of these games. Chargers, Saints. I don't. Do you have anything you want to say about this game other than the Saints have a practice squad out there?
No.
Yeah, there's not. This game sucked. Broncos, Panthers. That game sucked. Bo Nix looked well. The Panthers are awful. Chiefs, Raiders. I feel bad.
Lost multiple times.
Yeah, exactly. But Luke Getsy's a retard, so I guess Falcons Bucks. We didn't really get too much of a chance to talk about that game before we somehow got off topic onto MVP.
We didn't
I
even
don't
talk
really know.
about we didn't even talk about the Bills Seahawks game, which you were talking about when we went to the MVP thing.
That's what it was. We did talk about Falcons Bucks. No, we didn't. All right, whatever. Bills Seahawks. Sorry, that whatever. I guess for the Bills, my thoughts on the game would be that I believe that Josh Allen should be MVP right now. I'm very pleased with the way Joe Brady called this game because he opened up with a lot more play action, and you saw how open people are getting with this play action. Play action opens things up when you have a good run game, and that's what the Bills have is a good run game. So he was using a lot more play action to open things up. And then Amari Cooper just being out there attracts so much attention. And the fact that he's not going to be a diva baby bitch about it if he doesn't get his targets, that Josh can throw to Keon, he can throw to Kincaid, he can throw to Shakir because these guys are going to be open because they're good enough. When they just have one-on-one, they can win. They're not good enough where if you double them, if you bracket them, where they're going to win. They're not there yet. Amari Cooper is that guy who takes those doubles because if you put him on an island, it's over. No one's guarding him, so you have to bracket him. Takes the attention off the other guys, and they cook. Defensively, great game. I thought our run defense was going to be cooked without Dwayne Carter and Terrell Bernard. They really stepped up. They really shut down Kenny Walker, who I think is an absolutely electric back. That offensive line for the Seahawks sucks. Our secondary played absolutely outstanding. I understand no DK, but Christian Benford and Rasul Douglas were all over the place. Just great win overall. Way to go into Seattle and get a dominating win after the Seahawks came off a big win against a good Falcons team. What are your thoughts?
I mean, yeah, they beat the Falcons last week, but I think everybody and their brother knows that the Seattle Seahawks are not what everybody thinks that they are at the same time. I don't think that they're a good team. I really don't. I feel like this was one of those games. I've seen so many people say that this is the only other game other than the Jaguars game where the Bills had a complete game. And I'm sorry, I have to disagree. I love my Bills so much. I understand. But at the same time, you had 2 drives that got killed because Geno Smith got his foot stepped on and the center threw the ball 40 yards over his face. In those two situations, they probably get touchdowns off those drives. And this game is a lot closer than it looked on the stat sheet and on the scoreboard. However, Buffalo does come out of here with a 21-point win. Not to be a pessimist, but we're going to go to the offensive side of the football. Josh Allen, that pick right there, I understand it's your first pick. I'll let it go. But you got to get that ball a little bit back farther. You threw that ball way too far inside.
Amari Cooper slipped. I'm not saying great throw by Josh, but Amari did slip.
Even if Amari doesn't slip, though, that ball's still too far for Amari Cooper. Didn't even get to his hands. If he would have been that step extra and he fully extends, it's probably off his hands and still picked or dropped or whatever. But at the same time, I'll let it go. It's one play. On the opposite side, to be genuinely happy about this game, the offensive line held up for the majority of this game. Josh Allen looked pretty good off these play action passes. Obviously, Joe Brady learned something from the last couple weeks. The play action works, and he finally incorporated that into his offensive scheme. The secondary was very good in this game. I completely genuinely forgot that Tyler Lockett existed for a little bit of this game. And on top of that, Jackson Smith and Jigba did not do shit either. On top of that, you had Bills Mafia, who had 57% of the crowd or something like that. Was in
Tyler Lockett had 1 catch for 9 yards. JSN got some like garbage yards at the end, but he's 6 for 69. But I think that was more so at the end. They were kind of on that final touchdown drive when we were playing prevent. So
exactly.
Then the next high one who had the second most receiving yards for this team, AJ Barner.
Barner, that's what I meant, dude. I said Will.
Yeah,
I'm stupid.
He plays for. That's crazy though.
Yeah, AJ Barner's that rookie from Michigan, I think, right?
I mean, look, I've actually never heard the name before. So
he's a tight end.
What is their backup tight end?
Yeah, Gerald Everett.
Oh, so he got drafted being a backup tight end and is now another backup tight end since he wasn't starting last year either.
Yeah, he went to Michigan, right?
Yeah, he was Colson Loveland's backup, who's probably going to join the Michigan Chargers in the draft this year.
I hope to gosh that he goes to the Bengals for their sake because they need a tight end so bad.
I don't know. Gesicki's been playing well lately.
Yeah, but at the same time, he's not really much of a blocker. He's always been that vertical threat where you can rely on him in the passing game. But they need a guy who can do both, and Loveland is like the embodiment of that. He can do both.
I guess for me, I guess for me, real quick, my issue would why for the Bengals taking a tight end is that seems more like a luxury pick when they need to revamp their entire defense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think Loveland goes in the second round. I'm not gonna lie.
I think Love.
I think Loveland goes high second round.
I think Loveland goes in the first.
I think he goes high second round, and I think the Bengals could definitely make a move like where they trade like their second round.
I think this might be where you take Luis Gill out. I think this is the perfect time to.
Yeah, Will Smith just crushed that ball. But
yeah, I saw that.
I do think that it would be a lot smarter to do that. But yeah, I do think that the Seahawks just really didn't have a good game in this one. They came out a little flat-footed, no pun intended, with Geno Smith getting his foot literally stepped on. But I do think that this was a bad game for them. If they had a little bit more consistency on that offensive side of the ball, they win this game. And I think that's one thing that it exposed the Seahawks. Even in a situation where they can succeed, they find ways to fuck it up. And that's exactly what they did twice in this game, and it cost them. It cost them. And I think that's exactly
why is Gill still in there? Why is Gill still in there? I guess, yeah, it doesn't make any sense why Gill's still in there, but whatever.
It makes sense. You got to keep Gill in there. You guys are still up by 2 runs right now, 1. And 2, he's only got 64 pitches in this game. You keep him in here so you can keep your bullpen ready for the next game. Because as of right now, there's going to be a game 5.
My thought process is top of the order, third time is coming up. Also, this is a game you can't use a bullpen because you have to trust game 5, Garrett Cole, to get you 6. Well, this Garrett Cole game 5, he's done pitching for the series. So you can pitch him deep. You can pitch him 7-8 innings to give your bull. That's what you have to do is you have to, if you want to win tomorrow,
he's done we're going to need series if you pitch him game 5.
Well, yeah, game 7 is on Friday.
Oh, yeah, no, y'all are
or Saturday. Wait, game
crazy.
Yeah, game 5's on Saturday. This is it would
even
be
if y'all make it to game 6. 7. Who's starting?
It'd probably be something like we would go with like maybe bullpen game where we can use a mixture of like Schmidt, Gill, and Rodon. Or not. No, Rodon is game 6. What we could do.
I'm sorry.
No.
You just said bullpen game for game 7 of the World Series. That's fucking hilarious.
Well, by bullpen game, I mean use a mixture of Schmidt, Gill, and Nestor. You could probably get at least 7 innings out of them. You each of them go 2 or 3 innings, and then you just go. I feel like something like that could work really well because all of them will be rested.
Right.
Because it's on Saturday if we make it.
It'll be interesting.
That's where it's the last game. Like you use whoever. It's like we use the shit out of them because it's not like you have to worry about a game 8 or a game 9. Like.
Yeah. Right. Moving on to.
Yeah. I guess Falcons Bucks. We only have 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess like 5 or 6 games left, but Falcons Bucks. We kind of talked about it. Kirktober was absolutely cooking. The Bucks just have so many injuries that it's hard for them to be able to really do anything with all these injuries. Yeah, Bijan had another good game. Kyle Pitts renaissance is great to see. He got overhated for having awful quarterback play. It's nice to see him finally come back. He's been cooking this last month. Falcons look like they're going to run away with this division. What are your thoughts?
Falcons definitely are running away with this division. If this isn't the lock of the century, the Falcons just won the division, in my opinion. They have the tiebreaker over the Bucs now in 2 games. They also have the tiebreaker of the Bucs in the conference right now as well, which is very nice for them as well. Actually, yeah, they're right there. They're tied with them right now in the conference. But I do think that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are a solid football team. It's just they're injury riddled right now, and they kept it closer than a lot of people expected. I expected this to be a close game. I expected 24-16 was my score. A little bit higher scoring than that. I should have expected Kirktober to show up in this football game. Also, Bijan Robinson with the nastiest play I've ever seen in my life, where he just stopped as the guy ran right past him in the end zone. That was that play
was insane.
I've ever seen it in my life. Kyle Pitts almost made me lose my fantasy week this week as well. So thank you, you asshole. Finally decided to show up for once. The 1 week I had to go against him. I do think that this was a very good game, though. The Falcons had a solid team performance. Younghoe Koo missed that field goal at the end of the game that kept it close. Baker Mayfield has proven time and time again that he's not the most clutch quarterback, unfortunately. He's looked solid, but when the time comes to it, I don't think he's going to be the guy to get them over the hump. That's unfortunate for him. Obviously, he's dealing with a lot of injuries right now, but McMillan stepped up. So did Bucky Irving in this game. They looked pretty solid on offense for some of this second half. The Falcons started to fizzle out, but they hold on to win. And with it, I think that is a division crown in their lap right now. I think it'd take a monumental collapse for the Falcons to lose this division as of now.
Oh, yeah, they did take Gill out after they let him walk Tommy Edman. Great. Have someone on the bases for Shohei, Betts, and Freeman. Makes a lot of sense.
This one's deep right field. No, I'm kidding.
Hey, they actually put Tim Hill in, though.
Yeah, I know.
Watch Tim Hill
You
actually.
gotta remember, I'm a little bit in front of you.
No, I'm on commercial right now. I just wasn't paying attention.
Oh.
I guess moving on to our next game, Cardinals end the Dolphins season, or about to end the Dolphins season. We'll officially end it when we beat them next weekend because, yeah, we basically have the division unlocked as soon as we basically have the division unlocked as soon as we beat the Dolphins. If we most likely beat the Dolphins on Sunday, that's like officially locked. Yeah. Great game. Call of Duty Kyler beating the allegations. Actually having a great game the 2 days after Call of Duty was dropped, which it hasn't happened ever in his career. So shout out to him. Marv finally had a really good game. Overall, great game for that Cardinals offense. Tua, not his best game. Wasn't awful. Was much better than what they had. The running attack looked great with Achane and Mostert, but overall, it looks like the Dolphins just lack a lot of talent on that roster, and they just weren't able to get it done. What are your thoughts?
A lot of injuries for the Miami Dolphins right now, especially on that defense. Holland exits the game right after he came back from injury this week, so that's upsetting for them. Also, they had this game in the bag. I kind of stopped watching this game on Red Zone, I'm not going to lie to you, because I thought there was so many moments in this game where it's like, I guess the Cardinals are, I thought Tua was going to get them a win, So it makes a lot of sense. Then I turn it back on right at the end of the game, and they're winning. I'm like, okay, I didn't think that they were going to actually win this football game. It's upsetting for Dolphins fans. This was the last little bit of hope they had, as now they get to face Daddy Josh Allen next week, so they're probably cooked. And on top of that, if they do lose that game, I don't think the Bills are going to collapse like the Dolphins did last year, so I don't think that we're going to lose this division either. I think the two most locked up divisions right now are the Bills winning this division, and then I think the Falcons also win their division as well right now. Those are the two.
You think it's more locked than you think it's more locked than the Texans or Chiefs?
Oh, well, the Chiefs as well. I didn't even think about the Chiefs. But the Texans I don't think is a lock just yet because they're still right there for the division. I would have to say that it's close though. So we'll see.
Tim Hill. Imagine if we had that in the 10th inning of game 1.
Oh, Freeman's safe, dude.
Oh, he is?
It looks he's safe. Hold on. I just saw the replay. It looks like he's safe. They didn't call anything yet. I won't spoil that part, but I think he's safe.
He's safe. All right, 5-4 then. Whatever.
He's safe, yeah.
Yeah.
Shit.
Okay, that's fine. I still think we get out of the inning with the lead, though.
I mean, I'd hope so at this point. I mean, you just got through Freeman, so.
That's why, imagine if we put Tim Hill in instead of Gill to pitch to Tommy Edman. Wouldn't have been in that situation. Great going, Aaron Boone. Once again, what I said ended up probably being smarter.
Yeah. But, to get back
Tim Hill just had 2 straight grounders.
I think that this is one of the, it's unfortunate for the Dolphins. It really is. Obviously, it was funny as hell to watch Tua get chanted as he slid for once in his life.
Yeah.
Good job. They lost this game, though, so it's tough for them. Arizona currently leads the NFC West. What in the actual fuck is happening? But
yeah.
I think it's funny that the Cardinals are right there for the division right now. They actually beat the 49ers already, so they're right there. So we'll see how it goes. But Dolphin season's probably over now. Not going to lie. Also, Freddie Freeman is literally the greatest of all time in the World Series.
Yeah.
That's actually insane.
Holy crap, he's got
what
some
are they
wheels.
putting his foot for
horse tranquilizers?
Yeah, you think so. Man ran. Oh, it's gone.
I hate Aaron Boone.
Move on.
I hate Aaron Boone. Aaron Boone, you suck. Boo, Aaron Boone. Aaron Boone sucks. I have a burning hatred for that man right now. Moving on, I think we have 4 games left. We have Texans defeating the Colts narrowly. Prayers up to Stephon Diggs as he is now out for the year with a torn ACL. What?
Said fuck Diggs fucking around.
Well, yeah. I don't like Diggs as a person, but still, I don't root for anyone to get injured. So prayers up to
Exactly.
him for a speedy recovery. It's looking real grim right now until Nico comes back for that Texans receiving room. But they were still able to get this win behind a not great Anthony Richardson performance. But if you look at the film, much better game than the stats said. He had 2 touchdowns dropped, and then a 3rd touchdown called back on a bad PI call. So you reverse those 3 things, and that's a 3 touchdown game. The Colts would have won this game. So he ends up getting benched. I don't think it's because of his play. I think it's because of him taking himself out for being too tired. Genuinely, I don't agree with the decision to bench him. But if you're just doing it as a punishment because for like a week or two, because it's like we can't have that. We can't have you taking yourself out because you're too tired. Like it's kind of like a locker room thing. Like I get it if it's for like a week or two as like a punishment, but Anthony Richardson should be back in the starting lineup in a few weeks. It should not be Joe Flacco rest of season because your ceiling with Joe Flacco is to make it to the wild card game and get blown out, like last year with the Browns. That's the ceiling for the Colts with Joe Flacco, and he's you have no future with him. So it makes absolutely 0 sense for you to start him more than 1 or 2 games of like punishment for AR. Anyways, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't agree with the Anthony Richardson benching either. I feel like you got to see what you have in a young kid. You've only started him 10 games. Like, literally, he's only started 10 games for this team as of now, considering his injury last year and earlier this season as well. So to only start him for 10 games, he's 22 years old as well. You got to understand that there's going to be growing pains with this guy. I think the one thing that I will say is absolutely laughable is the fact that he took himself out of the game because he said he didn't feel like he could play. That is the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life because you're an NFL player making this kind of money, having the opportunity to be out there with these kinds of like amazing players, and you just say some stupid shit like that. Like if I had the capability, I would have smacked the shit out of him for saying some stupid shit like that. I do think that pisses me off more than the fact that the Houston Texans got lucky as hell to win this football game.
Why did you take out Tim Hill?
There was a fumble recovery in this game that was returned for a touchdown that got like disallowed. There was also the pass interference call you said, the 2 that also got called back. There's just a lot of really big issues on these guys. They had the drop in the end zone. So this Colts team played better than they shouldn't. Like they shouldn't have lost this game, is what I'm saying. The Texans played a very bad game, in my opinion. Obviously, Diggs gets injured. Obviously, I don't really care about Diggs, but at the same time, best of luck in your recovery, man. I do think that this is unfortunate for the Indianapolis Colts, but I feel like this is a bigger loss for the Texans right now because you're going into this like next stretch without Nico Collins and Diggs. You don't really have a number 1
Nico. Well, this is what their 3rd game. This is their 3rd game without Nico. So Nico could be back week 10 against.
No, he can't.
Yeah, he can. It's IR. He missed the Patriots game. He missed the Packers game. He missed this game. He missed next week. That's 4 games. He could be back week 10 against the Lions.
I thought you said this week coming up against the Jets was his 3rd game.
Oh no! No, this was 3rd game. So he could be. And I bet you if he is even 80%, they're going to play him because that is a big game week 10 Sunday night against the Lions. They're going to need him if they want a chance.
I can't wait for that game. I'm not going to lie. Well, I do.
Yeah, hopefully Nico does cook them.
I think this is going to be an insane game, though. But back on topic with this Texans team, and they haven't played inspiring football these last couple of weeks. I feel like the Jets are. I think they're walking into a trap game. I'm not going to lie. I think they're walking into a trap game, but I'm never picking the New York Jets again. I'm never picking the New York Jets.
I agree with you on that. I mean, if we had Amari Cooper or Khalil Shakir, if we had one of them two, we beat the Texans.
Oh, yes, most definitely. I think that the Buffalo Bills are a much better team than Houston right now. I think the only thing that's really upsetting for these Texans fans is like the injuries right now. But at the same time, Stroud's got to step up, and we'll see if he can.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it is. Just Stroud want to show that he's this elite franchise level guy. He's shown flashes, but he's kind of had like a little bit of a sophomore slump. I mean, he hasn't been that great. He hasn't been awful, but he hasn't been like anything special. I mean, 2,000 yards, 11 touchdowns, 4 picks, 60 QBR. It's good, but it's not like top 5 level stuff right now. Maybe it's just because he really is missing Nico and Tank Dell hasn't looked good this year. The offensive line's been really bad. There's things not going his way, but hasn't looked anything special. He's looked good, but not great. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that works out. And then moving on to our final game before we go into the two primetime games, we have the Bears with an absolutely comical way to lose to the Commanders. Tyreek Stevenson hyping up or taunting the crowd, not realizing the play started, and then being the reason that they get the Hail Mary because he tipped it and tipped it to the guy that he was supposed to be guarding, who was wide open in the end zone to catch it, Noah Brown. Absolutely crazy. Really, really funny. Most Bears thing ever. But
most
yeah, I mean,
thing ever just happened.
He still got thrown out, didn't he?
No, he got
he's
there.
safe.
The only hits he can get is when it's an error.
He's been on base 3 times. Let's go.
Yeah, walk, and an error.
No, we got hit by a pitch in the second one. Hey, he's getting on base.
Well, whatever.
He's getting on base. It's better than striking out, so I'm not upset.
Okay, man. I'll let you have this one.
I understand he needs to be a lot better. I understand these are cheesy ways to get on base, but he's getting on base for goddamn it. Like, let me have my piece. Okay. Anyways, Caleb Williams did not have a very good game until the last 2 drives. He started to play better. Jane Daniels, you could tell he was not 100% with that rib injury. He just didn't have I think it was Jim Nantz was saying, or maybe I forgot whoever was announcing this. Maybe it was Romo, whatever it was. Yeah, they were talking about how just so many throws were just falling at the receiver's feet, or they had to die for because he just couldn't get that last little bump on the ball. I think he was just in a lot of pain from those ribs. But at the end of the day, their defense kind of stepped up and held him into it. DeAndre Swift was he decided a couple weeks ago, instead of running with his eyes closed, that it would be more effective if he actually opened up his eyes. And we've seen this last 3-4 weeks, he's absolutely cooked. The thing is, now Caleb Williams needs to start throwing with his eyes open, because what was that? I mean,
yeah.
Overall, the receiving core has kind of been a little underwhelming too. O-line is god awful. Shane Waldron is a complete retard. But at the end of the day, your defense did its job. It's on Caleb. He's got to be able to score more than 15 points against the Commanders defense, which I don't think is bad, but it's not like it's an elite defense. I think it's a decently good, they're well-coached defense. Their weakness is their secondary. I know we just had that debate on that, but I do agree the weakness is the secondary of the team 100%. So you should have a better performance than that. And Jane Daniels didn't have a great performance, but he wasn't healthy and did enough to get the team to win. So, yeah, what are your thoughts?
I really am so mad at the ending of this game for the simple fact I have a buddy who decided to tell me that this is going to be one of the best plays in the 2020 era with that Hail Mary at the end, which is just absolutely laughable in my opinion. It got batted up into the air. There's not really much you can say about that. It's not like
it was a meaningless regular season game. It wasn't like it was a playoff game or something. Right. If this happened to the playoffs, 100%.
Oh, yeah, that's because it's just an iconic moment because, it happened in such a big moment situation. It's not like he did anything special. He just let everybody do everything else, and then he just sat back and caught it. A.J. Green against the Ravens. Literally the exact same thing happened, and nobody really remembers that one.
Come on, I want to see the highlight. Apparently Luka hit a super deep 3, and it just glitching. Thanks, Sleeper.
Right. I do think that this is one of those games, though. It was very upsetting to see for the way the Bears played this game. They played absolutely trash this entire performance. Caleb Williams and Jayden Daniels, 2 of the most hyped up quarterbacks coming into this matchup. Neither of them looked well. The one you can give an excuse for is Jayden Daniels because he's playing through a rib injury. You can't say shit for Caleb Williams. You're going up against one of the worst secondaries in the league statistically so far this year, and you literally did nothing for 3 quarters. Unacceptable, dude. You're the first overall pick, dude. You're the first overall pick. You got to do something more than that, and he couldn't do it. There's still such a laughing stock at times, and it's funny to see for the Bears because they're always going to be the Bears. Aaron Rodgers still owns them in spirit.
Almost from the logo. Sorry, he almost made it from the logo. Damn, they kind of put the game on ice too. Sorry, keep going.
Yeah, no, but Aaron Rodgers still haunts them in spirit with these Hail Marys, bro. It's just absolutely sad to see for the Chicago Bears, a tough loss, 18-15, and not much can be said about this game for them. I feel like this is one of those games where you had to win. You were going up against an injured injured Jayden Daniels, with the bad secondary that they've had, right now the Bears defense is so much better than the Commanders defense so far this season. And to lose what was, until that Hail Mary, obviously, an amazing display from your defense is just absolutely abysmal from the Chicago Bears offensive side of the ball. They should not be happy with themselves one bit. Hopefully they can bounce back for them. Obviously, the Commanders looked good again in this game. Battled through a lot of adversity in this one. This is how good football teams are created, folks. You battle through the adversity. You battle through these tough games. Look at last year. This game reminded me eerily similar to how C.J. Stroud played against the Carolina Panthers. Exact same situation. First overall pick versus second overall pick. And the second overall pick shouldn't have won the game. Didn't win the game the first time. Did win this time. It was just not a great performance from him as well. He didn't look himself. And then you saw him kind of break out near the end of that season, saying Jayden Daniels could maybe do the same thing. So good on Jayden Daniels. I did slander him a lot coming into the season. I'll give him his flowers. Great throw, especially with some bad ribs, bro. To throw that ball 55 yards through the air is absolutely insane. Mad respect to that dude for that. So good job by the Commanders getting a big win on the at home, in this one.
Yeah. All right. So moving on to our final two games, the primetime games. The San Francisco 49ers beat the Dallas Cowboys 30-24. The Cowboys are the king of Dak Prescott's the king of garbage yards and garbage touchdowns. He put that on display again. Kind of was more of a blowout than this. Jordan Mason went down with a shoulder injury, but it didn't stop them. They were still able to run the ball. They were still kind of have their ways, even without Brandon Ayuk. George Kittle has absolutely been cooking this year. Debo had some nice plays. Brock Purdy had a good game. Overall, Niners are the better team. They're the more talented team. They're a way better coach team, and they were able to come out with the win. What are your thoughts on the game?
So for this Niners game, realistically, neither of these teams played all that great. The Niners dominated for 3.5 quarters of this one. Obviously, the garbage time touchdowns there at the end made the game look closer than it was, obviously. But at the same time, 49ers are still uninspiring to me. They haven't looked too great just yet. They got it together for the most part in the first half, a little bit, I guess. But they were not finishing drives the way they should. They need to score some of those touchdowns. They need to be able to finish plays, and they just couldn't do that at times in this game. On top of that, for that defense, it did look very good for them. They looked solid throughout most of this game. Dak Prescott continues to sell for the Dak Cowboys, is what I call them right now, because realistically, the game comes down to how good Dak plays, and that's how it's been for this entire season. So the Dak Cowboys lose another game here in this one. Cowboys just can't seem to get going. I feel like this is a game where one of these two teams had to win. Neither of them deserved it, but one of them had to win coming into this week. Neither teams looked great compared to what they've done as of late in recent years, but one team had to come out with a win in this game. I guess technically not. There's ties, but I do think that that's very few and far between, especially in nowadays football. So 49ers get a good win here. They dominated most of this game, and for the Cowboys, what the hell was that?
Yeah. Good news for the Niners is there's reports that Christian McCaffrey will be back after their bye. So that's good for them. Moving on to the final game, is the Pittsburgh Steelers beat the New York Giants behind Daniel Jones being god-awful once again. Russell Wilson tried to sell the game. Russell Wilson tried to sell the game with a fumble, and then Daniel Jones said, "Hold my beer," fumbled it right back, and then threw a pick to he had two guys wide open in the flats, and he overthrew both of them into double coverage. They're not even double coverage with the receiver there.
It wasn't both of them. The one was the running back. He made the correct throw in regard to
he threw it.
He threw it to the right guy because he could have ran and got out of bounds. But at the same time, it was a terrible throw. He overthrew Slayton. And then for whatever reason, the Steelers defender almost decided to cost them the game as well by bobbling it 7 times before finally holding on to the ball. So, this was a bad game too, though. Calvin,
shout out Calvin Austin.
Right? Yeah, he went nuts in this game. He had the kick return touchdown and the touchdown. Funny enough, Des Bryant against the Giants, was the only other guy aside from somebody in the middle. I can't remember.
Devin Hester.
Devin Hester, there you go. So there was only one other guy to do that other than the 2 guys who both did it against the New York Giants, which just, if that's not the most Giant stat, I don't know what is. It's funny.
I didn't even know Des Bryant was a punt returner until I saw that stat.
Well, that's because he had he had a couple different issues in college and stuff where like they didn't know what he would end up becoming, so they put him at kick return, similar to like how Tyreek Hill started out.
Oh,
Not-
okay. Was it off the
not-
field issues like Tyreek Hill? Like, did he beat the shit out of his kids or girlfriend or whatever?
No, it was not. It was definitely with his like actual like health and stuff, his well being,
Um,
not mental
not
bullshit.
not the health of others because he's a retard.
Yeah, not the fundamentals. Tyreek Hill is gonna be like, I'm a game winning field goal kicker now. But yeah, this was not a good game. Kick fest for most of this one, much like is it Kareem Hunt or Ray Rice? Can't remember which one.
Ray Rice punched, Kareem kicked.
Oh, there you go. You got Kareem Hunt special in this one. A lot of kicks, a lot of field goals.
Yeah.
Not the game that you really wanted to see from either team. Pittsburgh looked good at times. Russell Wilson made a couple really good throws. Also, George Pickens did his best 1 foot impression. Decided to go around an IHOP. But that was a hell of a catch, and they don't count it. He tapped the 1 foot 3 times.
I think it's I feel like there should be like a way, like if you have a foot like touched twice like that, like I feel like that should count. I don't know.
Yeah, but at the same time, think about it. You catch the ball like this, and then you just touch the other foot down twice while the other foot's out of bounds. I think the
I don't
only
know.
way that rule works is if his 1 foot touches down before the other one touches in the back, like out of the end zone. You know what I'm saying?
Well, no,
So,
that's
like,
what I'm
before
saying.
The
Yeah,
back foot
yeah.
touches the white line, the other foot has to hit the ground twice.
No, that's what I'm saying. No, I completely agree with that. If anything touched out instantly, but like in that situation, that's
I
what would
can't
have
tell
happened.
you, as someone that can push over 1,000 pounds with my legs, I don't think I can do that. It takes insane level of strength to touch your foot down twice in a row while you're midair after getting hit like that. The fact
Yeah,
that he
I
got
know.
both feet
Exactly.
down is insane. That's
Exactly.
tough. It's tough to make.
Yeah. I mean, overall,
But yeah,
Russell
that's
Wilson is actually making this offense look better. Arthur Smith still is Arthur Smith, so it caps how good this offense can be. Because
Of course,
well,
Darnell
he's-
Washington got schemed up.
well,
Back
yeah,
then.
Darnell Washington is like Arthur Smith's wet dream,
Yeah, literally. Oh, you're 6'7"? Oh, tell me more.
and you can block and catch.
It's like
Oh my
that.
God, we can.
It's like when you see somebody like you walking around in high school and that coach just passes you on your way to the bathroom. He's like, "You want to play football?" It's literally Arthur Smith, man.
All right. Well, moving on to the reason why I wasn't watching much of this game, the not Bills, Sabres
Sabres.
Panthers game. We'll move on
God.
to Sabres talk. Before we get into a little bit of World Series and then some basketball. These segments aren't going to be nearly as long. Yeah, with the Sabres overall, I thought they played a pretty decent game.
They
We
rallied
scored
in
a
that
power
second
play
period.
goal. Yeah, exactly. It was a nice power play goal, really nice goal by Dahlin, the way he was able to like cut through the defenders. I was sitting
yeah.
like right there, so I got a perfect view of it. And I either got that one or the Zucker goal on video, which is pretty
nice.
cool. Yeah, I think it was the Dahlin goal. I don't know, but when I did, I accidentally ended it like as soon as he scored because I was cheering. I ended the video. But I have it. You can see it going in the net. It just ends like right after
Okay.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
you can
cool
see
though.
it. And like I have so I got a nice video of that. But yeah, both goals happened right in front of me, which was pretty cool. But overall, Tage Thompson in the first line, I thought they played really well. McLeod and them, they're still playing really well. They created a lot. Those two lines created a lot of good chances. Unfortunately, they weren't able to put it away. Byron, Power, Dahlin, they all continue to look like great. They've been really good this year. They continue to look that way. I really like what I'm seeing out of those three. Overall, we have two main issues. One of them is surprising. The other one is not, because if you have a major issue and then you don't address it whatsoever, it's going to stay a major issue. It doesn't magically get fixed by the snap of your fingers. What was the biggest issue on the Sabres last year? What was the biggest issue going the offseason we needed to fix?
Like
A second line
play.
center. Well, you know what I mean. Like, yeah, power play. But that's more of like a coaching thing. I'm talking about player
I
personnel.
think special teams in general.
But I think that was more of like a coaching issue than I'm talking about just pure player personnel. What was our biggest issue last year?
Second line center.
Yeah. We had no second line center because Dylan Cousins took a step back.
And first line defense, that was a right shot guy. We need a right shot.
Yeah. But anyways, the big one was we needed a second line center.
Right.
What do we go out and do to get a second line center? Jack shit. What is still our biggest
Jack
issue?
Quinn. No.
Our second line center.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy how that works. Who would have thought? I get there wasn't a lot available, but you got to go and do something. Like
At the same time, I understand like that we needed a second line center, but with the trajectory of the team, the way we are, we're a young up and coming hockey team, and he just paid Dylan Cousins $7.1 million.
Like I already said.
No, I get it. But here's the issue. You could argue the exact same thing about our goaltending. It's not going to magically be the best goaltending in the league because we kept Luukkonen and Levi, because we didn't make any changes to upgrade our goaltending. But
Our
they're getting
goaltending
better,
was good
right?
last year, though.
That's because, but that's the thing, is they're progressing. That's what these young guys are going to do, and that's
Not this
what
year.
they expected Dylan Cousins to do. I think after this season, if Dylan Cousins doesn't continues to play like how he's played so far this season, and he finishes the season 40 points or less, it's over. He's gone. And I understand that you wanted the second line center, but from Kevin Adams' point of view and my point of view personally, there wasn't much available. What's the point in forcing something to happen that could probably blow up on our face even worse than what it is with Dylan Cousins right now? Rather
That's
than just
possible.
yeah, exactly. It is. It really is. I mean, look at what happened with Jonathan
That
Huberdeau.
second line has a
Jonathan
combined
Huberdeau.
1 goal and 5 assists.
Yeah, but
Jonathan Huberdeau's probably been better than Dylan Cousins these last 2 years.
It's not that entire second line. It's just specifically Quinn and Cousins that have a goal.
Well, it's also Benson's been injured, and they put Abe-Kubel, who has no offense, on that line. Like
Benson wasn't really too injured. They put Abe-Kubel back in. And they put him on
Benson's
IR.
on IR right now.
Well, we put Benson on IR because
Benson hasn't really been. He hasn't been healthy all year. It's kind of been like a nagging injury that's been bothering him. I would even give Cousins the end of the year. I'd give him till the trade deadline if you're Kevin Adams, because you miss the playoffs, you're fired. There's no way Kevin Adams retains his job if we miss the playoffs. Or, my bad, there's no way he should keep his job if we miss the playoffs. I don't care about future this, future that. I am sick of this. 13 years has been enough. If we do not make the playoffs, bye-bye, Kevin. I don't care what good he has done. You got to make the playoffs at some point. If not now, like, you gotta be able to do it. So we cut Skinner to save all that money to not go and use it. Like this is where you go and get a second line center or a first line right shot defenseman.
There's none available.
The one thing, there will be something at the trade deadline.
At the deadline,
there is always. That's why I'm saying. Cousins has up until the deadline. I'm not saying we have to do something right now.
The last time we talked about Cousins getting traded, I told you at the deadline for Rasmus Anderson, a right shot D-man, upgrade our right shot defense, get that defense even better, and then the defense can help the liability of our offense. You pull somebody
up. I don't
want
to trade Cousins though.
Next year once he's finally ready to go, and then you can move somebody up to that second line center role if it's McLeod, or
if I'm being honest,
the way it's at.
If I'm being honest, I genuinely do not give a shit about next year. I want to make the playoffs this year. I am sick of missing the playoffs. I genuinely do not give a living shit about next year.
Let me ask you this question then. Would you rather miss the playoffs this year and then make the playoffs for the next 7 seasons in a row? Or would you rather make the playoffs this year and then miss the playoffs for the next 3 years?
Well, that's a stupid hypothetical. Because we miss it this year.
Because that's exactly the plan we're on right now. Every single big name guy we have, aside from the prospects we have, are on 6 or 7 year contracts. We can make the playoffs for the next 7 years if we miss this playoff this year, potentially.
Or here's the thing. We can make the playoffs this year, and we can make the playoffs next year and the years after that.
Yeah, we can. But the thing is
that's what we should try and do.
This is the last developmental year before the Buffalo Sabres become amazing.
We've had 13 fucking developmental years.
No, we haven't. We've had like 5 or 6 of those years.
We're in the middle of our third rebuild right now.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's not every single
one. We're at the end of it. Okay, my bad. We're at the end of our third rebuild.
Yes.
I don't make the fucking playoffs.
I get it.
I just want to playoff hockey. And I don't want to trade Dylan Cousins. I never said trade Dylan Cousins. I said trade for a second line center. I want Dylan Cousins to be a winger. I think he has legitimate value as a winger.
You got to.
He is just not a center. He can't handle the puck well. He can't play make, but he can score.
Right now. Look at the Jets. What did the Jets do? They got aggressive and made trades. Look at how bad
Different
the Jets
situation. Different situation. They also
No.
fired their coach. That wasn't the issue. If they had why can't I think of his name?
Salah?
Yeah, if they had Salah, they beat I think they definitely they might have beaten us, and I think they definitely have beaten the Patriots.
With how bad?
I
mean,
genuinely
feel
think Salah's killed that defense. I think, yeah, they got aggressive, but they also fired their head coach that they shouldn't have done.
No.
So it's a different
Yes,
situation
but
because
at
we're
the
not
same-
going to fire Lindy Ruff.
No, I'm not saying we're going to fire him, but you got to think this is his first season, just like it is Jeff Albrich's first season. It is the exact
For Albert's first couple games.
well, you got still though. It's a similar situation.
I'm not comparing Lindy Ruff to Jeff Albrecht. I'm comparing Lindy Ruff to Robert Saleh. If we fired Lindy Ruff and then replaced him and then went all in, yeah, that's stupid. But it's like if I'm comparing it, if the Jets went all in with Robert Saleh, I think they'd still be a playoff team.
There's no point in trading like a first round pick and whether you throw in Cousins or not, whatever the hell you throw in, whether that's Noah Ostlund in a first round pick for a second line center. And I understand, Ostlund's just a prospect, and that first round pick is going to be a later first round pick anyway. It's not going to turn into anybody great anyway. Why not just go and get the second line center for that? You're jeopardizing a potential future for the Buffalo Sabres for these next few seasons. We don't want to be good just 1 or 2 seasons. We want to be good 6, 7, 8 years. This year is the first year under Lindy Ruff, just like it's the same situation with Ulbrich, who just came in or whatever. I don't care. Whatever they find their new head coach. No,
it's different.
It's different
it is so different.
Ulbrich,
No, the thing is, I'm saying you're making this Jets comparison, but you're comparing Lindy Ruff to Jeff Ulbrich. I am trying to compare Lindy Ruff to Robert Saleh. If the Jets did not fire Robert Saleh, they'd be a playoff team this year. I genuinely, wholeheartedly believe that. Because part of that is because they went all in. If the Sabres go all in and they don't fire Lindy Ruff, they can make them. You're saying, Lindy Ruff, Jeff Ulbrich. Jeff Ulbrich is the reason why the Jets are not, or one of the reasons why the Jets aren't in the playoffs. Lindy Ruff's not one of those reasons. It's different.
No,
you're comparing the wrong coaches.
I'm saying
you're comparing the wrong coaches.
I'm not comparing.
It's different because of the coaching staff.
Because you're not hearing.
Yes, you are.
Point.
No, I am, but it's different. What I'm saying is completely different.
If you compare what Lindy Ruff is doing right now, he is in the transition of trying to make this team into something great, just like Ulbrich is trying to do with the Jets.
Austin Wells homer.
Nice.
It's a mid-season thing, though. It's so much different between mid-season and having a whole offseason.
I'm not saying mid-season. I'm just saying the situation.
For
the
Bills
right now. No, for the Bills. Jesus Christ, you got me all fucked up. Dude, for the Buffalo Sabres right now, with where Lindy Ruff is, he's in a similar spot as Ulbrich is in because Ulbrich is in the spot where he's finally he's coaching. You know, Lindy Ruff, this is his first year as our head coach too. Lindy Ruff's gonna experience growing pains. The other game when we played Detroit, Jack Quinn was in front of the net pushing and shoving a defender, and he fell over 3 different times, and the puck went in off the defender he was pushing off of Byram's goal. Byram's goal from the point went off him and into the net. He's trying to embody the physical culture. That's what Lindy Ruff's doing. It's a whole culture shift. With Ulbrich, they shifted in the opposite direction we're shifting in. I'm trying to make the comparison that there's polar opposites of each other, and you're not giving me the chance to explain that, Sid. So basically, they're both in a similar situation as they're both like in the first year, but they're going opposite directions. The Jets are going into a dumpster fire, and I'm saying your point of view, you trying to go all in for the Buffalo Sabres right now, go all in at the deadline potentially, do all these different things. I'm not saying that's what you said, but that's what all these Sabres fans are saying. They're saying we need to go all in. We need to make that playoff push this year. I understand you guys are frustrated, but if we do that, we're going to turn and we're going to go the Ulbrich route. And we're going to turn into the team that's turning into a dumpster fire in front of our eyes like the New York Jets have. And that's exactly what I'm trying to get across to you because, yes, we have underlying needs like the second line center and things like that. The team's still
I wouldn't say underlying. I still think that I still have belief the Sabres make the playoffs. And I don't say we go all in.
There for a playoff spot at the end of the year.
I'm just saying there's moves. I just think that's crazy. I don't understand that, but I just think there's moves that can be done that don't jeopardize our future. How many spots do we have that we can put in prospects, not counting the fourth line because you don't have prospects go play the fourth line? How many legitimate spots do we have?
2.
You think we have 2 out of our 9 open?
Yeah. Jason Zucker is going to be gone after this year. We already knew that much. And then Obey-Kubel and Lafferty are on 1-year deals too.
Those are fourth liners, not counting them. I'm talking about our top 9. Our first line set, our second line.
Jason Zucker is one of those. And Dylan Cousins is probably going to get traded.
I don't want Dylan Cousins to get traded though. I
you
think
don't want
we should
to,
move him to winger.
He's been getting so much backlash from everybody. They're going to
try to move him to winger.
Just like we pressured him into trading Savoy. It's going to be the same situation.
But if we trade Dylan Cousins, there's a good chance we trade him to go and get a second line center. We're not trading him.
It's going to be to get a right shot team.
A prospect come in. That just isn't smart.
I think the smartest thing for Buffalo right now is to hold off, wait this season out. Whether we make the playoffs as a wild card team or just narrowly miss the playoffs, I could care less. Wait out one more season.
That's fucking insane. That's insane. That is insane.
How?
We've been saying that for 3 years. We barely missed the playoffs the last 2 years. How many years can we barely miss the playoffs? We don't know if these prospects will pan out.
2 years, last year we weren't even close, bro. We weren't close at all last year. We were in it until we were like 10 points out.
We were in it until like 6 or 7 games left. We ran on a run towards the end. And then the last couple of games it didn't matter, so we lost.
If it's just like last season where we just narrowly missed the playoffs, I'd be okay with that because
I'd be pissed.
I know you would.
It's not
and I don't understand
because it's not a guarantee prospects pan out.
Ostlund has been one of the best prospects in the Swedish Hockey League for the last 3 seasons now.
Not a guarantee he pans out though. That's why we traded someone like Savoy for a Ryan McLeod.
Yeah. If we trade Noah Ostlund to get someone on the same quality as Ryan McLeod, I will genuinely put a bullet through my skull. That would be the dumbest decision of our entire team's franchise history. Like it's
McLeod's been so good. McLeod's been an absolute dog.
Yeah, to start the season, I don't care about how he's starting the season. He needs to actually be able to keep that up. You traded him for a third line center.
I trade Austin for a second line center in a heartbeat.
For a second line center, that's a little bit different.
I trade Noah Austin in a first for a second line center in a heartbeat.
No, I wouldn't do that. I would not.
I don't understand how. We just said there's only 2 spots available on our 9. And Austin in a first, boom, that's 1. Then
Cousins has been a major issue for the Sabres. We have $7.1 million tied up in Dylan Cousins. If he doesn't turn it on and he still has like less than 30 points at the deadline, trade him for Rasmus Anderson from the Calgary Flames, who are rebuilding.
And then Austin in a first to go and get a second line center.
Then you get that right shot D-man you need. 1 hole filled. Then in the offseason, because this is one of the best offseasons we're going to see in our entire generation of entire talent, then you go and get your second line freaking center, sign somebody instead of trading all your assets away. And then you put Ostlund on the third line and get rid of fucking Zucker, who's on a 1-year contract. And then
Kulich is there.
Kulich is a winger. You put Ostlund in the center, and you can put
McLeod's the center. Greenway.
Greenway's gone. Take Greenway off.
I want Greenway back, though. I think Greenway's been great.
Keep Greenway on like the fourth
Greenway's
line.
The perfect.
Get rid
Greenway's
of
the perfect.
Then keep Greenway and then lose Obey-Kubel.
I'd rather have Greenway on the third line because he is too good offensively to be a fourth line guy. I think he's the perfect third line guy. He offers enough offensively while being great defensively.
Greenway over Noah Ostlund.
I'd rather trade Noah Ostlund in a first for a second line center and then have Greenway on the third line.
I agree to disagree. I think that if we can wait this year out, if Cousins isn't playing good up to the deadline, we're trading for Rasmus Anderson.
I've waited 13 years. I don't want to wait out another year. We've waited 13 fucking years. I'm not waiting out another one.
I understand, and I'm a diehard Buffalo Sabres fan. I have been since I was 4 years old. I've loved the game of hockey for every single year of my existence. But this Buffalo Sabres team, if we go out and do something like that, is setting us back. Because if you trade Dylan Cousins, that's $7.1 million you're adding to your salary cap now. We get $7.1 million more salary cap space. That's $7.1 million plus the $5 million you're freeing up when Jason Zucker walks, because we definitely shouldn't re-sign him. That's $12.1 million to go sign whoever the fuck you want to play our second line center. Whoever you want. You're bringing Austin Matthews $12 million.
Austin Matthews re-signed with Toronto.
It's a hype. It's like an analogy thing. You can bring in a very good player for $12 million. Is what I'm saying. You can sign a second line center.
Who's going to be available? Who that good is going to be available?
Rantanen's probably going to be available.
You don't think the Avalanche bring back Rantanen?
They don't have cap space, bro.
They're going to find a way. You don't let someone
13.5 to Makar and 13 to McKinnon. They can't afford.
You find a way to bring back Rantanen. You find a way to bring back Rantanen.
They get rid of Samuel Girard and Devin Taves on their defense. They're not doing it.
Yeah, for someone like Rantanen, you should.
Yeah, you should. I don't know. There's a ton of options though, that are going to be
Who
out
else?
there. I don't know off the top of my head. There's a ton.
Let's Google this. Let me Google this.
This is going to take forever. My computer's on 17.
It's not going to take that long.
Well, we still have to talk about the other two sports you wanted to talk about.
We've been basically talking about the Yankees throughout the entire episode, so we don't have to talk that much. Oh, I guess Marner's available.
But all I'm saying is this is the perfect moment. Yeah, Marner. He probably doesn't re-sign.
I get it.
There's a ton of guys, though. And
I get it. Or if someone becomes available for trade. No, I'm saying if someone becomes available for trade and then there may be a free agent after this year, we trade them and then we just re-sign them. Trading for someone in mid-season, it increases the chance of being. Oh, do I think we should trade for someone do you think we should give up Ostlund in a first for a 1-year rental? No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying give up Ostlund in a first for a future second line center that's going to be here past this year.
No, I'm not saying.
I don't want to give it up for a 1-year rental.
No,
I'm saying someone for like the future second line center. And then we do the Cousins for Rasmus Anderson thing. Personally, I would rather do Quinn in a first. For the second line center, and then you move Cousins to winger, and then you have whoever center, Cousins and Benson. But that's just me.
I'm sorry. This is the last I'm going to speak of this. I'm going to say this as clear and concise as I possibly can. I really want you to just understand my point of view as well. That's all I'm trying to say. I
understand it. I just disagree with it.
Because think about it. If you have Dylan Cousins, $7.1 million. What does Jack Quinn make right now? Nothing compared to that. I know that much. So think about it. That's $7.1 million. If you trade Dylan Cousins for Rasmus Anderson on the back end of the defense, he's on another 2-year contract. He still has 2 years after this year on that contract at $4.4 million, which is cheap as hell for the defenseman that Rasmus Anderson is. On top of that, he's a right shot, which we don't have a good right shot. The best one we have in our system right now is Henry Yoki freaking Haru, which is absolutely abysmal. So you go and upgrade at the right defensive spot, which has been a very big liability as well. But trading Dylan Cousins gives you that $7.1 million. And then whoever's available in the free agency market, because obviously not every team is going to be able to re-sign somebody, instead of trading whatever to go out and get that guy to sign him, instead of doing that, trading for that second line center, you trade for Rasmus Anderson, so you're upgrading both needs at once. Because right shot D-man, there's not going to be any right shot D-man available after this year in free agency.
The issue is if we go with that. The issue is if we go with that and then we swing out on the top guys, then we're fucked. And how many people choose?
We're not going to swing out on the top guys. I understand you think that we could swing out on the top guys, but we have $12.5 million in cap after that because 7.1.
So we're either going to have. So we'd have to probably overpay, which would then hurt us in the future when we want to give players like Bowen Byram or JJ Peterka extensions. Alec Tuck's going to have a deal coming up. Devin Levi might want a deal coming up. Some of our like a Kulich or a McLeod we're going to have to bring back. Like a Byram extension. Like there's extensions coming up where we can't. I don't know if we can really afford to go and shell 12 mil out to someone.
We're not going to shell 12 mil out. I'm saying
then who are we going to? Okay, we're going to have to overpay. We're to bring someone to Buffalo. You're going to have to overpay because it's not the greatest market. Mitch
Marner grew up a Sabres fan. Mitch Marner would take a pay cut to come for the Buffalo Sabres.
I guess. Okay. Marner is the only one.
If you get Mitch Marner, it's on a 9 to 9.5. Then you have $3 million still to work with in those extensions. I don't think, but between Levi and Kulich and Paterka, they make probably $5 million. $1 million for Kulich and Levi, only because they haven't had the NHL production yet. Like, I think a 2 or 3 year deal on a $1 million AAV contract works perfectly for those guys. Maybe a little bit more because we want to keep
Paterka, I think, gets at least 5 himself.
Yeah, Paterka though is the one
Gets
that's going
5. Paterka might get 7. Paterka, I could see them giving a big time.
I
could see them if he has if he has over 30 goals this year. I think he at least gets 6.
I think he gets 5 for the simple fact that I think Paterka is one of those guys that's going to take a pay cut. He played in the German league for no money. He played in the German league for 3 seasons at 16 to 18/19 for no money. Didn't get paid at all. He's willing to take a pay cut. He said that several times. And on top of that, being that we're going to be in a cap crunch, we take that advantage and, use that to our advantage to, lower the AAV for him. So I think you at least get Paterka back. You at least get Levi. You at least get Kulich back. Those are the 3 main pieces. If you lose out on McLeod, boo-hoo, guess who's there? Noah freaking Ostlund.
I love Brian McLeod.
See what I like McLeod too.
Okay, so let me say this then. If we want to, say we decide to go the Marner route. We want to hope that they don't re-sign him and he signs with us. Yada yada yada, and then we trade Cousins for Rasmus Anderson. I still think if we trade Cousins, then we don't give up a first in Ostlund, but I wouldn't be upset if we give up a first for a 1-year rental.
Right. Well,
a first plus Wahlberg, I would not be upset if we gave up a first plus like Anton Wahlberg.
First for a rental, I'd be okay with. For the
first and Wahlberg.
That could make the playoff push that you're looking for as well. That's
exactly
fair, yes.
Okay. So then, yes. Okay.
But I'm
because of the Marner route,
one half of where you have to go all in.
I don't want to go all in.
No, I'm not. I wasn't saying you. You were making it seem like I was targeting you. I'm targeting the fan base, bro.
I thought you were targeting me.
Us to go all in. And
I thought you made it seem like you were targeting me. That's why I thought you were targeting.
No, I was. You know what you just said there? We were like combining our thoughts. I was trying to combine our thoughts, and you were making it seem like I was targeting. And I was like, no,
because I thought you were.
That's why I said I wanted to explain this one more time so you understand where the hell I'm coming from. I'm not targeting you. I'm targeting this fan base, man. Because everybody wants to trade all these guys.
Could have said that to begin with.
Yeah,
could have said that to begin with.
Would have saved us 30 minutes.
Whatever. It's more entertaining.
Yeah, right.
I guess we'll quickly World Series. I hate you, Aaron Boone.
I turned it off.
It's 6-4. Okay. Austin Wells hit a home run. It's 6-4, but let me check something. I didn't see. Did we get Ohtani out? It was Edman on. Okay, yep. Edman on second, 2 outs. It looks like we're taking out Leiter. Okay, Luke Weaver's coming in at the top of the 7th. Interesting choice there. Maybe they go Weaver through the 8th and then Canely or whatever. Yeah, so Mookie Betts is up. Edman on second. 2 outs. It's at a commercial right now. But anyways, as we all know, the Dodgers are up 3-0. The Yankees did have a 3-2 lead in the top, going into the bottom of the 10th inning. And then Jake Cousins gets someone out, but allows 2 guys. And then we bring in Nestor instead of Tim Hill. The entire fan base basically thought we should have brought in Tim Hill, who had a 1.5 ERA in the postseason, over Nestor, who hasn't pitched in a month coming off injury. But Aaron Boone, being the retard he is, decides to go with the rusty pitcher who hasn't pitched in a month. He allows there's a fly out, but it was a pretty impressive fly out. Or it was a pretty impressive catch. It would have really been a foul, but impressive catch by Verdugo to get Ohtani out. And then we walk Mookie Betts to allow Freddie Freeman, who had been playing really good so far that game anyways. And Nestor leaves a pitch right down the middle, grand slam, and the Yankees sell game 1. Dodgers win the last 2 games, 4-2 and 4-2. Kind of funny. The same score in both games.
The Yankees, no offense, but both games the Yankees didn't really show up until like the later half, like 8th to 9th innings. You guys decided to finally come to life. And it was just too late.
The 9th inning was more so we just hit a 2-run home run. We didn't really have a chance.
Well, that's for game 3. I'm saying game 2. Game 2, you had a legit chance.
Yeah, we were down 4-2 with bases loaded, 1 out, and then we went pop out, strikeout, or strikeout.
It was strikeout and then pop out.
Yep, and that's what ended it.
Blake Treinen's just a fucking beast, apparently.
But I wouldn't say he's a beast. I mean, he allowed a run, and we worked the shit out of him. He just got himself out of a jam.
Beast either. I was saying, like, to be sarcastic, because he killed
Oh.
my Mets too. He's the pitcher that we lost to as well in game 6. He's the
And
last
you're
guy.
trying to okay. But anyways, the Dodgers are up 3-0. The Yankees do look to take this game as they are 6-4. Their offense finally came alive as the Dodgers went bullpen game. The Yankees have been struggling against the Dodgers 3
You guys
starters.
have game 5 at home too, right? Because they do it a little
And
bit
then
different.
baseball. Okay, wait, that's 5. Yeah, they do for
'cause
baseball. They do 2,
games
3,
1 and
2.
2 are whoever's the higher seed. Games 3, 4, 5 are the lower seed. Then 6 and 7 are back to the higher seed.
Yep, I
don't
kind of
like
like that
that
better. So there's less I do less traveling.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, think about it this way, though. If you're going into game 5, and if you let's say it's the first round of the playoffs, if you win you get game 5 at home when you're up 3-1 in the series, and you win in advance to the next round, it's so much easier to win at home than it is on the road, especially in the hockey environment or even a baseball environment too, to where if you win at home in game 5, you won't need the game 6 or the game 7 versus that extra game for these pitchers and especially for pitching staffs in October. It comes down to which teams pitchers can stay the healthiest and pitch the most. So basically, if you guys get a game 5 at home, there's a good chance that you guys win that game because you guys were at home. So the Dodgers have to go 6 games, and now their pitchers are gassed because they had to play in game 5, and now they got to play game 6. So it can fuck them that way.
Honestly, if I'm a player, I would rather do 2-3-2, especially for a series like this. You get to travel. Say you're the Yankees, you travel out to LA, then you travel three games home, and then if you go to a game, instead of game 5, you travel out to LA, then you have to travel back to New York, then travel back out to LA again, then travel back to New York at the end of the series. Say it goes 7 games. Now if you travel out to LA, then you travel home, you travel out to LA, and then you travel back. It's much more convenient.
Yes, but from an overall I'm sure the players wouldn't.
The main reason why they do this is so they can have more. They can condense the series instead of having to have as many travel days. That's kind of what it is. They can have more because they're not going to have travel game. Like an NBA, they can do that because it's usually 2 to 3 games, 2 to 3 days in between a game. So they have the travel day and stuff like that.
Right.
And I think that's the difference is the MLB, they just want to boom, boom, boom because it is baseball, less contact. You can play more games, obviously.
Right.
But yeah, Yankees are up 6-4. Did we get I think Mookie Betts did. Yeah, Mookie Betts, I think it was a fly out. So now it's middle of the 7th. Yankees have they have Judge, Chisholm, Stanton. Austin Wells is finally I kind of hated. I actually did talk shit earlier for Boone for putting in Austin Wells, even though I actually love Austin Wells just because of how bad he's been this playoffs. But Austin Wells has been the second best. It's really the bottom of our order has been what's cooking for us. They have all 6 of our RBIs.
Yeah.
Because Verdugo had an RBI ground out, then Volpe had a grand slam, and then Wells had a home run. The top of the order, Torres 0-4. So is
that grand
Soto
slam
3.
is gonna save y'all, dude.
Yeah, it would be 2-2 or 4-2 if it wasn't for that. So yeah.
Yeah, they'd be winning.
Yeah, exactly. Judge has got
Freddie Freeman with a walk-off grand slam in game 4. Dodgers sweep.
You can walk off as an away team.
Okay, fuck you.
Okay, and then moving on to our final, I guess a little NBA talk. So far, some of the surprises or expectations or whatever. Boston's 0-4, been absolutely dominant behind Jason Tatum's been cooking.
What?
The Cavs are also, or not 0-4, I meant 4-0. The Cavs are 4-0. Cavs are 4-0. OKC are 3-0. Those are the only undefeated teams left. There are 2
you're
winless
literally
teams.
talking shit to me about how they beat my Knicks. I was like, they can't have no wins.
Detroit is 0-4 and Utah's 0-3 are the only 2 winless teams. Shout out to Paolo Banchero last night, 50 piece.
Oh, 50 piece, yes, sir.
Yeah. Orlando's 3-1, Miami's 2-1, Phoenix 3-1, Dallas 3-1, Lakers 3-1, Clippers 2-1, Golden State 2-1, New Orleans 2-1. Those are all the 1-loss teams. So overall, it's been a pretty balanced start of the season so far. A lot of the teams we expect to be good are good. A lot of teams we expect to be bad are bad. One surprise for me is Milwaukee being 1-3, with their only win being over a Philly team who does not have Embiid or Paul George.
Yeah, Paul George.
So maybe they're just cooked. I don't know. And Denver's 1-2, a little surprising.
I mean, if you think about it, last year they started off pretty slow too, I believe, didn't they?
Who? No, they were the 2 seed. They were kind of underwhelming for expectations, but they were still the 2 seed in the East, and then they fired AJ Griffin and hired Doc Rivers, and they've been much
Right.
worse under Doc Rivers.
Well, yeah, I mean it's Doc Rivers.
I just apparently Giannis didn't like it. Was like the players didn't love. They played better under him. They didn't like him as much, so they wanted him gone. Apparently,
That's fair. Players win always.
yeah. Do you have anything you want to say so far in the NBA season?
I mean, my Knicks haven't done too hot. We're okay so far. I mean, I expected us to lose to you guys. We kept it pretty fun against the Pacers. I can't believe Hallie went 0 for 8 in that game. That shit was so funny. Halliburton could not make a shot to save his life in that one.
He cooked at least last night.
Yeah, I've honestly one of my favorite teams, which is obviously so like weird, but I really liked Zion coming out of college, not college, high school. I mean, pardon. And I really do like the Pelicans. Pelicans have looked very surprising to me so far. They've looked genuinely dominant at times. They've went on some very good runs, which has been interesting to see for them. So I think that a shout out to the Pelicans is fair.
Yeah, they're actually cooking the Warriors backups right now. No Wiggins, no Steph Curry. So then they decide to not start Jonathan Kuminga. I don't understand why. When in doubt, you got to trust the cum bucket. I don't get it.
Okay, bro, that's crazy.
The cum bucket for life. The goated nickname. At least Podzinski's having a decent game so far. He is. The Warriors have 16 points a minute into the second, and Pods has 7 of them. Only 4 players in the Warriors have scored. Moody has a 3-pointer. Kuminga has 4 points, and then Lindy Waiters has 2 points. No one else has any points for them.
Did you see that Pelicans Blazers?
Zion and Ingram are combined for 22. What?
That Pelicans Blazers.
Oh yeah, Brandon Ingram became the first player in NBA history to hit a game winner over someone he shares a baby mama with.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's true though.
Yeah, I know.
I guess also we got a little bit of time. We're not the biggest NBA fans. I mean, I am a little bit more of an NBA fan than Thomas, so we're not going to always be too heavy into NBA. We'll touch up on it. But again, it's not our biggest, more unlike hockey and basketball or hockey and football are 2 big ones. So we'll be definitely more football and Sabres themed. But I guess we can talk a little bit of college football too. Boise State won again. Nebraska almost upset Ohio State. They were to escape with that. Notre Dame blew out Navy. That was a little surprising.
Not really.
Oregon, we both said we thought it was going to be at least close.
Yeah, closer than people thought, but at the same time, it's Navy.
Yeah. Oregon blew out Illinois. Bama blew out Missouri 34-0.
That
Texas
was a statement.
barely beat Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's been playing really, really good lately. You said they don't deserve to be ranked, and they almost beat Texas.
No, not really. It was 28-17. There was a late touchdown with an onside kick. Texas let them drive down the field, score the touchdown. The onside kick happened.
27-17. It was 27-17, and then still a 10-point game against Texas. I mean,
Texas hasn't been themselves these last couple weeks, though. They haven't looked right for some reason. I'm not sure what's going on with Texas.
Judge flew out, but at least Judge does not have a strikeout tonight. He's making contact. Kansas State escaped one against Kansas. Texas A&M with a dominant win over LSU. Very, very, very surprising.
That's because they finally listened to me and took Weekman out and put Reed in, who's been absolutely killing it, like he did against the Gators.
Reed had 2 pass attempts, though, in this game. But, yeah, Connor Weidman's trash.
He had 3 rushing touchdowns, though.
He did have 3 rushing touchdowns. You were correct.
Yeah, I know. I watched
Garrett Nussmeier, your ass. Your ass.
I can't blame him, though. I'm not blaming him. That pressure, he was against pressure all game long, dude.
I wasn't watching the game that much. I was hammered, so
I don't know who
SMU
Texas
escaped Duke in overtime.
Is, but he's probably going to get a head coaching, not head coaching job, but
I only had it on a small screen. I had the game on a small screen in my garage. I was mostly worried about drinking as much as possible than watching this. So, unfortunately, I'm not being honest. I'm kind of bot score watching in a lot of these games. I'm excited for this weekend, though. Penn State, Ohio State, Florida, Georgia.
Jay Bateman. He schemed up the best blitzes I've ever seen in my entire life. He was going nuts for Texas A&M. He looked great in this game. I would not be surprised if he gets a chance to be a coordinator in the NFL soon.
Gators about to pull off the upset this weekend against Georgia.
Huh?
Gators about to pull off the upset this weekend against Georgia.
At
No,
a neutral site.
I do genuinely believe, like, no bias, well, maybe some bias, that they will be able to keep it close because they have new energy. They have new energy in the building with DJ Lagway and the freshman running back. Them two, they've kind of been cooking these last couple of weeks.
Oh, yeah, your freshman running back. I've seen a couple clips for him.
And Lagway, like them two together, they've kind of brought some energy. I mean, they almost beat Tennessee, lost in overtime. They just blew out Kentucky, who had been very competitive with some good teams. They beat UCF. They're 3-1 in their last 4 games.
Right.
And these last 2 games, they blew out a competitive Kentucky team, and they went to overtime in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Like I in a neutral site, I could see them keeping this close, losing by single digits or maybe
But
by
I feel
10.
like Georgia finally found its groove. They took down the number 1 Texas. They're finally back
Carson
into
Beck
that, like,
isn't at home though.
huh?
Carson Beck isn't at home though.
Yeah, no, I know, right? Carson Beck at home.
I could see like a 27-17 Georgia win, where it's
I think
competitive all the way through.
31.
And then
I think 31-13, maybe. Actually, no. I think you guys score more points on offense. I think it's like 41-20.
I just think it's like a 27-17, where it's like 2017, and then Georgia kind of scores late. But I don't trust
that
the
defense.
defense has been playing better though.
Yeah, they
20
have,
against
but I feel like this is you got Lagway in there. I think that this is a game where he throws a pick or like messes up somehow.
Oh, he will. He'll definitely make some mistakes. He's a true freshman. But I mean, you get 20 against Kentucky, 23 against Tennessee, 13 against UCF. Like these are like
I know.
That's a better defense. I understand none of them have offenses compared to Georgia. I mean, maybe Tennessee, but Georgia's offense hasn't looked amazing. Carson Beck is not great if he's not home.
I really want to see what that Nico kid can do in a playoff game.
Yeah, he's been pretty bad these last few weeks, though.
Yeah, I know. Yama Liaba is not looking the greatest, but we'll see how he does. I think he'll be fine.
All right. Well, I think that's all we have for today. I'm going to go catch the rest of this Yankees-Dodgers game. We'll probably choke, and I'll probably shoot myself. So if you don't hear from me, that's probably why. But anyways, if you guys enjoyed this episode, I feel like this is a more entertaining one as we got some real nice heated debates. I'm thinking for next Tuesday's episode, I got a nice surprise for you guys. I'll text you afterwards for this, a little NFL. We'll get into more NFL debates over it. We kind of sneak previewed it last week, mentioned we should do it soon. So yeah. But if you guys enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. And I hope you guys all have a great day.